Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So I've been thinking of a great kind of quote I read recently talking about how Stoics, they focus more on the process versus the end goal. So I kind of want to share my personal experience with goal setting and how my goal setting has changed and pivoted over time. So in the beginning, for most of my life, I've been very goal-oriented, and that applies to becoming a pharmacist, later becoming a pharmacy director, trying to move up the corporate ladder. Then it changed to financial freedom, to have $20,000 a month in net positive cash flow from real estate by the age of 35 so that I can retire. Then the goal was to own a certain number of units of real estate. It was 100 units of real estate at a time. And now the goal was to hit a certain net worth, $10 million net worth by X age. And now the goal is to, build a, social media platform through my YouTube channel and hit, X number of subscribers. So I've always been very goal oriented, which is nice, right? It gives me the motivation to strive towards something. It keeps me going on a day-to-day grind. But what I've kind of learned to realize is once you obtain the goal, whatever that goal is, it's a little bit underwhelming when you achieve it, right? So I've almost hit 100 units of real estate, and it was actually very stressful because I had, a mobile home park, which, yes, I hit the number count, but it was stressful. It was not the type of units I wanted to own. So it ended up was a lot stressful than it was worth. Then I had a net worth goal of or cash flow goal of $10,000 a month net, and I'm hitting $10,000 a month net now, so I've achieved my goal. But it's a little bit underwhelming in the sense of the cash flow. Yes, you cash flow on real estate, but it's really saved for an emergency reserve fund in case something major happens. So it's not like you're living off that cash flow on a day-to-day basis. So as I've owned more real estate, as I hit my goal, it made me further realize that I cannot live off the real estate cash flow because it's not as stable, not as secure compared to a W-2 job. So I'm not willing to give up the security of a W-2 job just yet until I'm able to stabilize this cash flow from real estate. So in order to do that, it's either to have more cash flow or to work on adding additional businesses, or I might just have to sell some real estate to pay off my primary residence to take expenses off the table, right? Because when you have no mortgage, then it lowers your expense significantly, or my expense significantly, and it takes some risk off the table so that if I wiped out, let's say, my $5,500 a month mortgage, then I could safely cut down to part-time and still live the same lifestyle. So, I achieved that goal, and, I felt a little bit underwhelmed. And with, I think, net worth, to be honest, I never really tracked my net worth until I was worth about maybe over $1 million at that point. But now I have personal capita, which is now in Power, and I'll periodically just check in to see how it's doing. But like I said, I can check my net worth. Went up by I think $120,000 this year so far, but it hasn't really improved my quality of life, right? Because I'm still working, I'm still in that day-to-day grind, still showing up to the W-2. So I imagine if I hit a $10 million net worth, maybe I'd feel the same, unless I just step away from my W-2 or a business takes off. So, like I said, goals helped me get to where I am today. Goals helped me, buy real estate, pursue financial freedom, move up my career, hit a certain GPA back in high school. So it is very nice. But what I will say from personal experience is once you obtain the goal, it's very underwhelming. It's just oh, my goal is to climb Mount Everest. And once you climb Mount Everest, you're like, oh, it wasn't as amazing as I thought it'd be. But where the true fulfillment and, I guess, joy is not the goal, but it's in the process, right? So it's not the end destination, it's the journey. So I think how, buying a lot of real estate, how that pushed me and how that helped me develop as a person in terms of problem solving, in terms of mindset, in terms of having to better myself, that was a lot more fulfilling. I think just a daily grind of, making offers every day for multifamily real estate, sending out my mailers every month, talking to potential sellers every month, talking to property managers every day, talking to lenders every day, talking to my contractor every day, just slow and steady learning over a period of time. That is what really helped me grow the most. And that probably is the most fulfilling part. Like looking back in retrospect, it wasn't obtaining the goal, it's how the pursuit of the goal gave me and grew me as a person, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, in all those aspects. So for me, that's really the true fulfillment is, the end game doesn't really mean anything once you hit it, but can you do something every day and slowly improve at it every day? Eventually, if you do that, you'll obtain all your goals easily and surpass them. So once I kind of realized that, I try to make my goals like, what is something that I can sustain for a long period of time, to eventually have that compound, that 1% compound over time to hit the goal without you even realizing it, right? So for me, I don't really set a goal in terms of like how much I want to make from YouTube, how much subscribers I want, but can I commit to creating consistent content and posting it daily and, slowly improving over time, like improving my video, my audio, how I communicate, thumbnails, all that. And I know organically, the more times I post videos, the better I'll get over time. It's just like going to the gym. If I go to the gym, every day or 3 to 4 times a week over time, I will get better and can lift more weights slowly over time, improve my form over time, improve my health over time. So it's really these small daily actions that you do determine your levels of success. It's kind of scary to think that, but such very minute changes can change things significantly. Like for me, when I owned 100 units or close to 100 units of real estate at one point, and I was renovating my mobile home park, and the mobile home park wasn't doing great because I didn't have good property managers. I was renovating my 26 unit apartment complex. I was renovating my 20 unit apartment complex, and I was doing a long commute to my W-2 job. So, I was doing quite a bit, juggling a bit. And, I was really stressed out during that period of my life, in 2023. And I never experienced financial stress before until, you're losing $10,000 a month on your mobile home park. So that's pretty stressful for me. And I remember I hit rock bottom, but in rock bottom, it really helped me improve. It taught me how to journal on a daily basis. It taught me how to have a morning routine. And now I, wake up, I'm usually in complete silence the whole first 30 minutes. I'll brush my teeth, wash my face. I'll do some morning stretches to loosen up my body. I'll go downstairs, drink a cup of water, take my, vitamin D, vitamin C for the day, eat breakfast, and then I'll journal in silence. And then I will, hop in my car and listen to like a podcast, to learn. So I've been doing that routine for almost a year and a half at this point. I started in June of 2023 when I hit rock bottom, and I was just like, you know what, I got to change something if I want a different result and get out of this rock bottom state. So even though I'm not rock bottom anymore, there are a lot of habits that I still do today, right? Even though I'm not stressed, I'm not rock bottom, and I think these habits have helped me improve myself mentally, spiritually, and helped me grow a lot, right? So I think that hard time, that pursuit of the goal, improved me, right? And it gave me a lot of clarity in the sense of like, I don't need to like own a mobile home park to gain wealth. I just need to continue doing what I'm doing continue buying single family homes in Huntsville, Alabama, continue buying apartments in Oklahoma, slow and steadily over time, right? I already know how to do that. It's not going to be that much harder to buy additional. So just keep on doing that slowly over time. It'll be easy, and it'll make me wealthy just doing that. Like I could hit all my goals if I just slowly buy real estate over time in the areas where I have an unfair advantage. That's really it, right? It's really plain and simple. And another thing is during that stressful period, I learned how to optimize my sleep, right? I sleep consistently every day. I cut out alcohol significantly. I mean, I didn't really drink much to begin with, but if I were to drink, let's just say twice a week, maybe it's now like twice a month. So I reduced the amount of alcohol I drank because it was giving me gastroparesis, or in other words, it slowed down your digestion. I sleep consistently at a certain time every day, so I sleep earlier now. I sleep at 9 to 10 p.m. and I have a night routine. So I typically try to avoid artificial lights and dim my lights. I will go for a walk after I eat. I changed my diet significantly. So it's just all these little minor tweaks that you have to be able to sustain over a long period of time. That's when you start to see the true benefits of compounding, right? So like I said, it's these little habits every day. It's like, for me, people say it might be small, but sometimes these micro tweaks could have huge results. And that's how it felt for me. Like, for me, when I used to power lift like heavy and I was deadlifting like 365 pounds at like 130 pound body weight. I can't do that anymore because it's not sustainable, and it can lead to injury because I was lifting for 1 rep maxes. But now the way I lift in gym is like, well, can I sustain this style of powerlifting until I'm like my 60s, my 70s? The answer was no. So as a result of that, I changed the way I work out, where I want to work out in a way where I can sustain it over a long period of time. I want to sustain a sleep schedule that I can sustain that works for me now. I want to sustain a diet that works for me now. And I made slow improvements, right? Like, I used to eat a lot of processed foods, and now I guess a lot thanks to my fiance, I eat a lot more fruits and vegetables and have more food variety and eat more fermented foods, which is good for the gut microbacteria. So now that's like sustainable. Like, you can't just go from like, oh, I'm eating 100% fast food to like all of a sudden cut fast food cold turkey. Like, you have to slowly wean yourself down, right? And even like, speaking of fast food, I cut out fast food pretty significantly. I don't really go to McDonald's anymore. Burger King, Carl's Jr. is like super rare for me to go to those places now. But of course I will do it. And like soda, I used to love drinking Coke. That was my favorite soda. But now I don't buy Coke in my house. But if I'm out at work and then someone gives me a can of Coke, I'll drink it, but I'm not going to seek or buy it. So now I try to create systems around me and micro changes to kind of favor better behaviors, right? So if you compound these behaviors over time, that's how it does. That's how you build wealth. Like, for me, like, I didn't do anything special for like building wealth. Like, I literally just made money, focused on increasing my income and keeping my lifestyle expenses exactly the same. And then whatever margin I have, I was able to invest into stocks, into 401k, to save for a down payment in real estate. And I just did that for 11 years, right? Which now, if you say it that way, it sounds extraordinary, but I just made very little micro tweaks. Like, okay, I would make my coffee at home. Like, it's only a couple bucks, but $5 a day, compounded over time, right? Temporary sacrifice. You can make micro changes where, like, do you need to stay at a 5-star hotel? Are you okay at a 3-star hotel temporarily, right? Now I hit the point where I could stay at a 5-star hotel if I wanted to, but does it give me that much more benefit if I'm barely there? So it's just really being conscious about like what you spend on, and whatever expense you have, you want to invest the difference, right? And because I'm still single, no kids, I'm able to save a large amount of money and live under a very reasonable lifestyle. But once you have kids, there's more obligations, there's more financial obligations. At that point, it might be hard to save money. It probably will be harder to save money, but because I've built up 11, 12, 13 years of runway, it's now compounding. So I don't think I did anything special. I just got a W-2, high income W-2, keep my expenses low, and whatever margin there is, I invested it. Like, I probably had like a 80% savings rate, and to this day, I probably still have an 80% savings rate, to be honest, or a little bit higher now because I have a mortgage. But like, my saving rate is still pretty high. Like, I've never been paycheck to paycheck. I've always had decent margin, and then I've always taken that margin to invest, and then those investments compounded over the past 11 years. So it's very small actions, and I automate a lot of my investments. I want to set it and forget it, and like whatever that looks like. $500 a month, can you invest that into Vanguard? Can you max out your 401k? Whatever that looks like. It's really small, consistent daily actions that happen every day, right? So for me, don't focus on the goal of like $1 million net worth. Focus on the goal of, well, what can I invest on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis that makes sense for me, and then slowly scale that over time and automate it so it's easy. Right? So like, if you can only do $500 a month, then if you get a raise, you get 2-3% raise over the next year, then you want to increase that amount by at least 2-3%, if not more, right? Or can you be like, well, can I cut out, instead of going to Starbucks every day, I'm going to go maybe every other day, and whatever money I save, I'm going to automate that into investment into Vanguard, right? So it's just these small little micro actions, these micro tweaks in your everyday life determine huge compound growth, right? So like for me, after you eat, you go in a huge food coma and you lie on the sofa. Well, now I built a habit where after I eat, I'm going to go for a walk to, help me digest and then keep me energized. That's more inclined to make me want to go to the gym, right? So it's just these small little micro tweaks that make huge dividends, right? And it just, those things that compound over time, that's really it. So anyways, hopefully you kind of learned about how I used the goal set and how that helped me achieve all my financial goals, but now how I pivoted to focusing on the everyday micro tweaks of the everyday that I can sustain for a long period of time, and how those like daily habits help contribute to my wealth moving forward. Anyways, if you want to learn how to buy multifamily real estate with some guidance, check out my mentorship program. Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what questions you have, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.